Sangha today.
You can put the harmonium. Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam kavividitam kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Shri Madatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Burida Janaha. The nectar of thy words is the life for those who are scorched by the world. The words which have been uttered by the knowers of truth, which wipe out sins, the very hearing of which is beneficial, which are beautiful, pleasing to the ears, pleasing to the hearts, which are inexhaustible. Those who recount them on the earth are the givers of plenty. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Peace, peace, peace be to all. Stories of the Vedanta monks. Last 2 Saturdays we talked about the monks of Benares. As I told you, I worked on a book, Prachin Sadhuder Katha, in Bengali, in 2 volumes, 825 pages manuscript. These Swamis of the Ramakrishna order, do you want to be close so that you can hear me? Okay. Prachin Sadhuder Katha, stories of the old monks of the Ramakrishna order. We have not physically seen Sri Ramakrishna. We have not seen his disciples either. The last one died in 1939, Swami Vedananda. That is Ramakrishna is the original, then his direct disciples are the first generation of the Ramakrishna monks. Second generation, their stories I worked on this book, in this book. This second generation We are the third generation. The second generation monks were trained by Sri Ramakrishna's disciples. And they learned from them about Sri Ramakrishna, about Holy Mother, about Swamiji. I told you that I at least met two persons who met Sri Ramakrishna. I met many disciples of Holy Mother, Swamiji, Brahmananda. So what I saw and what I learned from them, those things I recorded. Some came from my diary, some came from my cassette tape recorder, I interviewed them. And some came from the diaries of the dead monks. So those are and some came from the magazines, so those are my source materials, you see. There are many things are not in the books, which comes through oral tradition. Parampara. You tell, my Guru told me, I am telling to my disciples, they will tell to the next disciples. That is the way the Vedic knowledge came to us. At that time there is no book, no printing. Through Shruti. Guru chants, disciple hears, memorizes, then he gives to the next generation. This is the way all the Upanishad Vedas came to us. So this is parampara, very important. And that time only people only listen. And now we have tape recorder, DVD, video, all those things. So we are more advanced now. So tonight I shall talk to you about Swami Dhyanayogananda. He is one of my favorite monks. I met him in 1970, February. I went to Lucknow to attend the dedication ceremony of the Vivekananda Polyclinic. So I stopped in Benares. I saw a Swami, a cap in head. It is in February, little beard. I bowed down. What is your name? I told my name. Oh, I know you. This is the first time he saw me. But I read your writings. He used to live in Benares. We have two ashramas. One is the mosque, temple, worship. Another adjacent is the hospital, big hospital. So he used to live in one of the rooms in the back of the hospital. In the back of the hospital. So he is a very, very special monk. Do you know what does mean? He is highly spiritual, highly learned, and he applied Vedanta in his life. Two brahmacharis came from Concord. They told me they hear mode of teachings. If anybody would come, Maharaj, would you teach me Vedanta? Sure. But whatever I shall teach, first you will have to memorize them. So this age brahmachari will have to memorize 4 verses, come to him, repeat. You repeat, then he will explain. Then he will give class. His method is, I shall work and you people will not work. I won't let you do that. You will have to work also. That is his method of teaching. He was the disciple of Swami Sharadananda. He got his monastic vows in 1932 from Swami maybe Sharadananda. Then whole life he practiced austerities in the Himalayas and other places. And he used to teach the monks. He is the monk's monk. So I knew him from 1970 to 1998 till his death. And whenever I would go from America to India, I always met him. As I told you, I had a very student's nature. I always love to learn. Miss Josephine MacLeod said, you people think Vivekananda was a teacher. He was a great learner. He learned continuously. As a result, he is always fresh. Always something, he spoke something new. Learn. In 1977, I was then in Hollywood, went to Benares, stayed there for a few days. So whenever I have a little time, I used to go to different Swami's room and I interviewed them with my tape recorder. I remember I had a beautiful Sony tape recorder, very good, with cassette. Then whatever I learned in the night time, I have a diary. I always keep diary. So I used to write in my diary. And I had always a desire to go to the Himalayas and practice austerity, depending only on God without carrying anything. Live alms, beg food, and just think about God. But I could not do it. I was sent, as soon as I got sannyas, they sent me to America. So this Swami could satisfy some of my desires, sharing his experiences in the Himalayas. And he gave me his 13 diaries. Based on his diary, I gave a series of lectures from the diary of a monk. I gave 30 lectures. Those things are all in the, I think it is in the GPGs now. From 1936 to 1969, he lived in Himalayas, Kankal, Hardwar, in that western world. And those things he wrote in 2 big volumes, Sat Shanga Ratnavali, Gems from the Guardian of Saints. That is the name of his diary. Gems from the Guardian of Saints. He had a private diary. He used to go to the divine disciples of Sri Ramakrishna or some senior monks, and whatever he would listen, he would come and write down. That diary, very personal, that he gave to me. I think not this year, last 2 summers ago. I came, only 3 months I only copied the diary and prepared the manuscript. He wrote to me on 4th February 1983. I have sent the diary to you by registered mail. Please acknowledge. He told me, some of the people do not know the value of these diaries and all these things which I collected. As soon as I die, they will dump into the Ganges. Why don't you take them to America and use them? I tried to follow his advice. Sometimes I have to send a little money from Christmas time, just for a little food and other things. He used to write me letters. Those letters I Xerox them and paste for my manuscript. This is the manuscript of that book, copy of the manuscript. Then I met another person. His name is Guru Das Gupta, disciple of Swami Sharadananda. He was a principal of a uni college, but never married. Led life like a brahmachari. And he also collected from different monks in Benares, many retired monks were living. So he collected whatever he would hear from them. They used to talk. They used to relate their memories and olden days, and he used to come and write down. So his diary is also like this. Those diaries, when he died, it went to Yogeshanananda, then it went to Raghuvarananda. Raghuvarananda gave to me. And those diaries I brought here. Those diaries helped me to write that famous book, They Lived with God. A lot of new materials of the household disciples I found in those diaries. You know, I cannot tell you how precious those things are. Sometimes I feel the other monks, if they would keep their diaries and write their reminiscences, we would get huge amount of information about the Jari disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Some Swamis did not leave anything, just they died. But at the same time, they are very close to these Swamis. 5th January 1984, Banaras Shivashram. He wrote me a letter. Look, there are many obstacles in his spiritual life. Many. To attain the self-knowledge, there are 100 millions, 100 lakhs, that means 10 million obstacles. If you go to visit a temple, 5 million obstacles. On the way to have the Ganges, bath in the Ganges, there are 2.5 million obstacles. And to give charity to the people, then 1.5 million obstacles. In this way, he was talking about obstacles. Then Krishna was still Bhim, that famous, powerful man. He was telling Krishna, tell me the obstacles. I have a mace, Goda. I shall break all obstacles. Then Krishna says, really? You could, but you know, they are very subtle. You cannot kill them. Tell me what those obstacles are. All right. Today is the auspicious day. Millions of people will go to bathe in the Ganges. And you also bathe there and see how many obstacles are there. So Bhim went from morning till evening, walking on the bank of the Ganges and watching. He did not find any obstacles. So in the evening he came back, Krishna, I did not find a single one. Then Krishna said, did you bathe in the Ganges? Well, no, I was just searching only the obstacles. That is the obstacle. Did you bathe in the Ganges? No. But that is a great obstacle. You with the mace, you walked on the bank of the Ganges, but you did not take bath. And people from far away came, took bath, got the virtue. Justice, that is an obstacle. Vidyayam, he quoted this scripture. Vidyayam dhvanninam koji tadartam hari mandire, tadartam jannavidire, tadartam dakshine kore. But do you know what is the other obstacle? Other obstacles is in the right hand of the people. Charity. Some people are so hesitant to give charity to the people. That is an obstacle. 10th October 1984, Banaras Shivashram. Well, I am now old, I have some cold but do you know how do I look about life? Which is a dream. When dream breaks, we see the reality. Dream. There is a famous Greek philosopher. He used to teach human life is nothing but a dream. Diogenes. His disciples said, really it is a dream? Well, yes. Then they tie the philosopher's leg and pulled on the street. And his whole body was cuts and bruises. Tell me, is life a dream? Yes. This human life is a dream, but it is a painful dream. It is a very painful dream. Mani, you look, you are my disciples, pull me on the street and all my body cuts and bruises. Painful dream. This ajnan, ignorance is the sleep. And in this ignorance we are all dreaming. Swamiji says, if you really dream a higher dream. I am Atman. I am Atman. That is a dream, but higher dream. Instead of wife, children, family, this, that. That is a dream. Then he said, I am presenting a beautiful Sanskrit verse to you. Then you will understand what I mean. Ahankaro dhyam brute ma suptvayam prabudhaya uttite paramanande nam na tvam nedam jagat. It is a beautiful verse, you know. It is the essence of Vedanta. Atman is sleeping inside. Buddhi, intellect, is kulota. Kulota means unfaithful wife. That is called kulota. And Buddhi fell in love with ego, ahankar. He is also very unfaithful. Promiscuous, you must say. Husband is promiscuous, wife is also promiscuous. So the Buddhi fell in love with ego. And one day Buddhi was telling ego, you know, we have such a nice time. Why shall we not awaken the Atman? Then let us share some of our joy to our Atman. Ahankar, ego says, never do that. Well, why? The moment Atman will arise, you will die, I will die. The moment self-knowledge comes, all intellect and ego disappear. The moment self-knowledge comes, the ego will die instantly, and Buddhi also will merge into Brahman. So you will die, I will die. Let Atman sleep, don't disturb the Atman. You know, don't think Vedanta is only dull and dry. Vedanta is not dull and dry. There is a beautiful verse in Bodhasara by Narhari Acharya. How a non-dualist can worship Brahman, worship God. Non-dualist means, I am the Atman. How that person can worship God? Visheshware cha sudhiya guliti upi bhede bhavena bhukti saitena samarchanara praneshware tu chadurja militi upi chitte vasranchale bhavahitu upi prekshaniyam. It's a beautiful verse. When an Indian girl is married, she is very shy, bashful. She has a long veil. She cannot talk with her husband publicly. Otherwise, she will be criticized. But she loves to see her husband from a distance through the veil. She knows from her very heart, my husband and myself, we are one. But she loves to see her husband from a distance through a veil. Similarly, a knower of Brahman knows that Brahman and myself both are the same. But for the sake of the worship, he meditates here and keeping Brahman outside in the form. But as it is possible, so Brahman can be worshipped in this way. It's a beautiful verse. He mentioned another very beautiful story. Sometimes people complain, I have so much problem, so much trouble in my life. He wrote, those who say that, tell this story to them. The snake and the mongoose, they have enmity. Always remember, snake and mongoose, they fight and fight. When snake, cobra, hits the mongoose, mongoose gets that poison, immediately he leaves the place. Mongoose goes in the jungle, he digs some roots, sniff and chew something, immediately the poison goes away. He knows the antidote of the poison. Again, the mongoose comes and attacks the snake. So this is called mongoose and snake fight. He said, when the Maya, this world, attacks you, it may be very painful. Do you know how to get rid of that pain, that poison of Maya? Just dive deep within and touch the Atman. Atman has a tremendous healing power. You know, it is absolutely true. The moment you touch God, Atman, Maya becomes ineffective, cannot do anything to you. One day Thakur said, Mahamaya is swallowing everybody, but those who are around me, Mahamaya does not touch them. That is the reason we come to Kali Mandir, we want to reach Sri Ramakrishna's books, Mother's books, because at that time Mahamaya is away from you. Holy company is very, very important in life. You cannot buy it. Then he told, that is a beautiful story. He said that when this worldly problem is, it is painful, you know. But do you know what? If your mind is not there, it will not hurt you. These Vedantic monks, they know how to separate the mind and the body. You do not experience the pain in your body, you experience the pain in the mind. Sometimes I tell people, you know, I remember once I went to see Swami Gambhirananda. He came to Boston in 1972 for detachment retina surgery. I saw he was in bed. An American brahmachari was reading the Dhruva in Chicago. He was reading Gospel of Ramakrishna. He was listening. He was reading Kathopanishad, lying in bed. He was explaining. I learned that even in hospital, when you are sick, how to keep mind in God. Instead of in hospital bed, at least you can withdraw your mind from this body and can fix in God. You know, there are many things to learn from Vedanta, I tell you. 24th November 1981, Banaras Shivastram. This world is just like a movie. Well, one of the Himalayan monks used to explain Vedanta through cinema. Well, when you go to the movie house, what do you see? Big screen, in the back, projector, and the film, and the light focused, and it goes on the film, on the screen. Sometimes we see fire, we see heavy rain, but you go and touch the screen, it is not burned, it is not wet either. The screen remains the same. So the projector is buddhi, intellect. And the celluloid, that plastic, that all the pictures, many pictures, perhaps you have seen that how the film comes in the big roll. Those films, each picture is one desire. And here is the light, which is focusing through the projector. That light is Maya, projecting on the Atman. And all the pictures and vasana and forms and just movie continuously moves. It does not just stop even for a second. It is continuously rotating, the movie reel. But that is our life. Each person's life is a movie. Millions of experiences of your life are all in the real, and you are focusing always on the Atman. He says, try to see this world this way. A big movie is going on. And be the witness. Be the witness. And be like that screen, Atman, unperturbed, undisturbed. March 5th, 1982, Banaras Sevashram. I sent him a copy of my book, How a Shepherd Boy Became a Saint. Swami, teachings of Swami, life and teachings of Swami Adbhutananda. He read it. Then he quoted that in page 44, the incident you mentioned, I directly heard from Swami Shuddhananda. That's a story. Let me write you what I heard. Swami Shuddhananda and Swami Adbhutananda. Adbhutananda is Latu Maharaj, acquired zero education, 100% illiterate. He and Swami Shuddhananda went to hear a class on the Katha Upanishad. And the Pandit, a scholar, was explaining this Katha Upanishad. The last verse of the Katha Upanishad is Twang swat sharirat prabrihit munjat iva ishikam adhurjena. That is the last verse of the Katha Upanishad. A knower of Brahman, do you know what does he do? Perhaps you have seen, here is a grass. You can pull the stalk in the middle of that grass this way. The grass will remain the same, but you can pull the stalk. 2-3 blades of the grass, you can pull it. Well, a knower of Brahman, separate the Atman from the body, like separating the blades of grass from the stalk. That is the example in the last verse of the Katha Upanishad. The moment Latu Maharaj does not have any education, but his intuitive knowledge, he immediately shouted. The class was going on. Hey, Sudhir! But Pandit said the right thing. Hey, Sudhir! Pandit said the right thing. Maharaj, keep quiet, it is the class. So he kept quiet. Hey, Sudhir! Pandit said the right thing. Mane, that teaching tallied his experience. But I experienced the same thing. So he was repeating again and again. Then Swami Shuddhananda told him, Maharaj, let us go. Maharaj, instead of disturbing the class, he took the Maharaj and came out. Let us leave the class. Then he came and he and both of them sleeping in the same room in Balaram's house in North Calcutta. At night time, hey Sudhir, Maharaj, Pandit said the same thing, right thing. Hey Sudhir, off and on, he went on and on, but I was present. He said the right thing. You know how these knower of Brahmans function. Amazing. Latu Maharaj told Swamiji when he came to America, you know, Keshav Sen used to give lecture in town hall in Calcutta. I want you also lecture like Keshav Sen. He was a very famous orator. And I shall carry a jug of water for you, so that when you are tired, I shall give you drinking water. Swamiji wrote from America, well, I am fulfilling Leto's desire in America. I am giving a lot of lecture. Then when Swamiji gave a lecture in Calcutta, his reception address, Laju Maharaj carried a jug of water. So that if Swamiji is tired, he will drink it. How, sometimes do you know how do I feel about love? Do you really feel? That's why I always used to, in Hollywood, I invented the American mantra. I love you, I miss you, I love you, I miss you. All boys and girls, they are repeating, I love you, I miss you. That is American mantra. But anyhow, but this is real, genuine love, you see. Then he mentioned happiness and misery come from karma. Do not blame. Both are great teachers. Don't think happiness is the good teacher. Misery is a better teacher than happiness. During the time of misery, you can recognize who is your true friend. I remember when we was in class 7th grade, we used to memorize Panchatantram. Utsave Vyasane Chaivo. I am talking about I memorized in 1949. Utsave Vyasane Chaivo, Durvikshe Rashtraviplave, Rajoddhare Smasanecha, Jatishtuti, Sabandhava. Who is your friend? Utsave, at the time of festivity. Vyasane, at the time of our good time. Durvikshe, at the time of famine. Rashtraviplave, at the time of war. Then Rajoddhare, when you are arrested. Smasane, when somebody dies in your family, you are taking the body to the cremation ground. If a person stays with you, that person is your friend. We have to memorize all these verses. Who is your friend? Only fear whether when you have a good time, good health, good a lot of money, I am your friend. And when you have a bad time, I don't know you. Shuk Shapner Moto. Happiness is like dream. It comes again, it disappears. So, have a friendship with the misery also. Because it is also a gift of God. Have misery, disease, they are also great teachers. They take away your bad karma. They eradicate your bad karma. That is the reason Krishna says, Sukhe dukhe same kritva labhadabhu jaya jayu. Sukhe dukhe, be even-minded. When happiness, misery both comes. Victory or defeat. Keep even-minded. And brothers, look, most people are habujubi khache. They are happiness, misery. All these people, happiness, misery. Do you know what Swamiji said? Madam, the pendulum of the clock must swing. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Happiness, misery. That is called life. When happiness side comes, we try to grab it. Stay there. But it will push us back. Because that is the way the pendulum works. Do you know what is real happiness? Shasharupe sthita. If you established on your real self, that happiness is the permanent happiness. These things he used to write me through letters, the dates are there. 24th December 1982, Banaras Sevashram. He was telling me what are the books you should read in the Vedanta philosophy. So he gave a list. Viveka Chudamani, Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, Upadesha Shastri, Shankara's commentary on some small books, Panchadoshi, Nishkarma Siddhi, Vedanta Shara. He gave a list of the books, now you read. But Panchadoshi is the best, very good book for learning Vedanta. Aparokshanuvati, Vaikya-vritti, Logu Vaikya-vritti, Punchikaran Bhartik. He gave a list of books for me to read. I told him, Maharaj, could you write a book or an article about just the newcomers of Vedanta? But I am too old. I cannot do those things. I go now. Now I am waiting to Lord take me from the other to the other side. I tell you frankly, I tried to do one work in this country. I did many work. One is, if a newcomer comes to me and asks, could you give me a book on Vedanta, what book shall we give to a person? An American, no background, wants a book on Vedanta. What book will you give? Upanishad Gita, newcomers will not work. Gospel of Ramakrishna, the moment they will reach woman and gold or Maya, they will close the book. Immediately they will close the book. And I gave one book to a lady and she read it, she closed the book and wrote in her will, when I shall die, return this book to Swami. And her sister really returned that book to me. That will happen, you know. That is the reason I worked on a book, Vedanta Voice of Freedom, which is the quintessence of Swami Vivekananda's 8 volumes. What is Vedanta? The philosophy of Vedanta, the religion of Vedanta, the God and man in Vedanta, then concept of Maya, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, the goal of Vedanta, Vedanta in practice, and the universality of Vedanta. There are 12 chapters. That is the quintessence of Vedanta. You see, it is Swamiji who taught Vedanta in the West. So that book is very, very popular, I tell you frankly. It has been translated into German, Dutch, Spanish, Croatia, Lithuania, Bengali, in many languages.
What's the name again, Swamiji? What's the name again?
Vedanta, Voice of Freedom. Then he wrote me, Shukadeva went to King Janaka for self-knowledge. Janaka said, go, see my city. He moved around and came back. What did you see? I saw all sugar dolls moving around. What do you see right now? I see you are a sugar doll, I am a sugar doll. We are talking each other. You got the supreme knowledge, now you go back. You will not have to come to me anymore. Then he told, there are some Pundits, they only speak. What do they speak? They talk. They memorize some shlokas and they will bombard you. And they will show you that what a great scholar he is. So he said, a Pundit taught his little boy, 8 or 10 years old boy, memorize. So he came and, he can quote the scriptures and very learned. He met his son. Then what happened? He came, the Pundit brought his son to the king, and king was overwhelmed, dumbfounded, seeing the memory and the erudition of the little boy. Then in the meantime, a bird flew in. Then immediately this boy took his cap and grabbed that bird. Then the minister told the king, "Oh king, this is the real nature of that little boy. The other learning you see, his father put in his brain, that he is repeating to you. But his real nature is still a boy." So he says there are some people, the great teachers, they will quote you, but just this is their profession. They do not practice Vedanta, you know, that is said. Then he talked about that how many types of spiritual aspirants in this world. Uttam, Madhyam, Kunishtatam, Adham, Adharatamam, iti panchavidam prarabdham. Good, mediocre, next. 5 kinds of spiritual aspirants you find in this world. And how they function, that also he mentioned. Jnani, knower of Brahman, is beyond rules and regulations. 1st October 1977. I was in Benares. That is my first visit to India after 7 years. Kashi Shivashram, number 10 ward. Number 10 ward means all retired, old, sick monks. Many rooms. Each Swami has his own small room, not attached bathroom. Perhaps 1 or 2 attached bathrooms are there. And from the hospital, the food will come 3 times. So I went to his room, packed with books. He was meditating on his bed. Then he was telling, in his spiritual life, grace is very important. There are 4 kinds of grace. Guru Kripa, Ishwar Kripa, Shastra Kripa, Atma Kripa. Grace of the Guru, grace of God, grace of the Scriptures, and the grace of your own self. What is the grace of the Guru? He initiates and he shows the path, spiritual path. He removes the obstacles. And if you want to learn from our Guru, Sheva, Tadvidhi Prunipate na Puri Prasne na Shevaya. You must know God. Prunipat, be humble to your Guru. Puri Prasno, ask questions. Clear your understanding and serve him with love. Then, Upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. He will expose his heart to you and teach you everything. That is called Guru's Kripa. Then, Ishwar Kripa. Do you know what is Ishwar Kripa? We are all alive because it is the grace of God. How? Who created the air? If you do not breathe 5 minutes, you will die. Who created water? If you do not drink, we will die. God gave everything to us, food, everything. It is Ishwar Kripa that you are still alive. Raso Vaisa, Raso Hivayam Labdhanandi Bhavuti, Kohe Vainnath Kaprannath Jadishwa Akasha Anandanasyat. In the Tvaitiri Upanishad says Raso Vaisa. This Brahman, God, is Rasa. Felicity, juice. Kohe Vainnath Kaprannath. Who could inhale, who could exhale if there is no blissful self within you? That Upanishad says. That is Ishwar Kripa. Then, Shastra Kripa, grace of the Scripture. You see, Scripture acts like a mother, loving mother. Gita, Upanishad, they are like our mothers. As mother always wants her children should be safe and secured and will be well disciplined. That makes mother happy. Let me tell you one incident about grace of the Scripture. Purna Chandra Ghosh was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He was Ishwar Koti, a great soul. Like Vivekananda was Ishwar Koti. Sri Ramakrishna told him, don't marry. But his parents forced him to get married. He has several children. He was working for a finance department of the government of India. I am talking about 1910, 1911. Tuberculosis. He got tuberculosis. So one day he was thinking, I shall commit suicide. Purno. So he was thinking, before I commit suicide, I must go and take a shower. Then I go to the shrine. I shall bow down to the master. Then I shall take suicide. I shall commit suicide. So he went, took bath, went to the shrine. Then there he was a copy of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So at random he opened it. Let me take a message of the master, then I shall take my life. Do you know what? He opened the book, and the first he saw, Purno Balok Bhakto Thakur Purnir Mongol Chinta Koritechen. It is in the record of him, in the Gospel. Purno is a boy devotee. Sri Ramakrishna is thinking of his welfare. What? Master is thinking about my welfare and I shall commit suicide. No. That one sentence saved that person's life. That is called Shastra Kripa, grace of the scripture, and Atma Kripa. You see, you may get all graces, but if you do not contribute yours, you will not get anything. Sri Ramakrishna said, I created fire, only you take the heat. But if you do not stay away, if you stay away from the fireplace, you will not get the heat. You will feel cold and you will feel darkness. Sri Ramakrishna said, I cooked food, you must eat. If the Guru eats, that will not appease the hunger of the disciple. You will have to eat. I cast the mold, I made the mold, you only cast yourself. Those are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. Anyhow, Atma Kripa. Then he told me, if you read the scriptures every day, তোমার শাস্ত্র দৃষ্টি খুলে যাবে. Your শাস্ত্র দৃষ্টি, your third eye about the scripture will open. Sometimes you read, you do not understand. But reading, again and again, it will penetrate inside. So one day it will flash. That is the way it works. That day I asked him a question, how to practice Vedanta in daily life. The implementation, the practical Vedanta. How? He says, you cannot express what Brahman is. Osti iti upalabdhebhyo. You will have to feel it exists. It is in the Katha Upanishad. Osti iti upalabdhebhyo tattva bhavena udayo. Mani both, you can feel it. I am that I am. I am that I am. It is a matter of experience. You cannot express it. Then he says that Guru, Bardha, Shishko Bashulke Upadesh Dile, Barkale Bolan. Bardha was a teacher. The disciple's name was Bashkoli. Bashkoli was asking, teach me about Brahman. Guru kept quiet. Teach me about God, Brahman. Guru kept quiet. Again, 23rd time he says, Upashanto vayom atma. Silence is Brahman. I am teaching you all the time, but you don't understand. What can I do? Upashanto vayom atma. I remember in Vedanta Voice of Freedom, in the introduction, I wrote a story. A Vedanta teacher came and said, do you know what I am going to talk to you? The audience said no. Then you have no background, you go. It will not work. Then next Sunday again that teacher was brought and he asked, do you know what I am going to speak to you? All said yes. Oh, then you know everything. I will not have to speak. You go. The third Sunday again he was brought. This time the audience decided the half will say yes and half will say no. Then he came and said, do you know what I am going to speak to you? Half said yes, half said no. Those who said yes, please tell them who said no. Then fourth Sunday again he was brought. This time they decided that we shall keep quiet. So fourth Sunday when he said, do you know what I am going to speak to you? All kept quiet. But this is the right time to speak to Vedanta to you. He told me from the Yogeshanandaji Ramayana. If you see Yogeshanandaji Ramayana, big volumes. So Vasishtha was the teacher, Ramachandra, incarnation of God, was the student. So after teaching everything, then Vasishtha kept quiet. Well, teach me more. Well, I have nothing to teach you. And I shall keep quiet. That is the ultimate truth. Then Ramachandra says, then why did you talk so much? All these years you were talking and talking and talking. Vasishtha said, look, if I would not talk, people would think I am stupid. That is the reason I talk. But ultimate truth cannot be expressed. Ultimate truth cannot be said, cannot be told. Without holy company, the mind does not go toward God. Satsang. Sat means existence, Paramatman. Association of the Paramatman is the real Satsang. Amra Satsang thinks it is Satsang. Satsang means association of a holy person. But holy books also give Satsang. Paramatma, real Paramatma is Sat, Chit, Ananda. That Sat is the real Sat. Association of the Brahman is the main thing. Then, Brahmakara Vritti. I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Only that Vritti comes in the mind. Then he says some people, inside and outside, both sides are full of unhappiness. Some outside happiness, inside unhappiness, some vice versa, but some both. Then he gave an example. Do you know how does it work? A dog has a wound, and there is some worm there inside, and that worm is bothering the dog. He is restless. But dog is in a cage. But when the dog is outside, some flies and moth, they are also sitting on the wound and making more miserable. When he's inside, only inside pain. When he's outside, inside pain, outside pain. Then he says, some human beings, they have a lot of worldly desires inside, bubbling. Those desires are like worms, are biting that person's mind. And when that person comes out and surrounded by lust and gold and all these sensual objects, then they are like flies and bugs are killing that person. That person is very restless. As Swamiji said, monkey by nature restless. If you give the monkey wine, it will be more restless. If you throw some hornets on the monkey, can you imagine what is the condition of that monkey? That is the condition of the average human mind. We have a lot of desires and lot of impurities, and then when we go out, oh, I shall buy that thing, a lot of desires come. I remember the story of Tommy Losoda, who was the manager of Dodgers. I earn money, my wife is in the shopping mall. What can I do? Desires, a lot of desires. But how to get rid of this upai? Sadhu Sangha, have the company of the holy. But if you do not have discrimination and renunciation, only Vedanta scriptures reading will not help you. You need good guru. Then he told that there are 4 kinds of intellect. Stone intellect, rubber intellect, leather intellect, oil intellect. Stone intellect, if it is a stone, you put a nail, it will not go. Nail will break. If it is a rubber intellect, you hit it, it will go and it will come back. And leather intellect, you hit it, it will go as much as it goes, that much it will be there. And oil intellect, here is a bucket of water, you drop one drop of oil, immediately it is spread. The entire surface of the water is full of oil. Some people have oily intellect, tremendous grasping power, understanding power. All human intellects are not the same. He explained how intellect works in Vedantic system. Then a monk came and said, Maharaj, I have the knowledge of Brahman. Don't say it to everybody. Maharaj put his fingers on his lip. Then Baba Maharaj said, you have knowledge of Brahman. Do you have any doubt? Well, sometimes I doubt. Hoinai. No. His name was Karunananda. Then Karunananda wanted to give a lecture like Swamiji. Then Brahmananda's disciple, Brahmananda said, all right, on condition. You will have to dress like Swamiji and put a turban, then I shall allow you to lecture. So he dressed up. Then Swami Brahmananda invited all people. He came and Brahmananda sat on a chair, and next to Swami Vijnanananda sat another chair. Then Brahmananda said, I propose Swami Vijnanananda will preside the meeting. He is the president. Swami Vijnananda got up and said, I dissolve this meeting. I dissolve this meeting. Maharaj said, I propose Vijnananda be the president. Vijnananda got up and said, I dissolve this meeting. Then Karunananda was in his tears, Maharaj, I dressed so beautifully. And you didn't allow me to talk. But what can I do? Vijnan is the president, which is in his hand, which is not in. Direct disciples would make all kinds of fun, you know. Then his Swami told me, if you really want self-knowledge, you will have to be abrita chakshuhu. You will have to close your eyes. Then he said, it is a mantra from the Kathopanishad. Paranchikhani Bhatrinath Sambhu Parang Pushyanti Nantaratman Kushya Dhira Prityagatmanamikshat Abrita Chakshuhu Amritattamichan. Yama, the god of death, was telling Nachiketa, you really want to realize the Atman? Well, yes. God created the senses with outgoing tendencies. There are some people that shut the senses and close the senses and turn their mind within. Then you will see the Atman. That he told me. Sometimes I see some people are practicing spiritual disciplines, but you are not making any progress. Do you know what is the main problem? Attachment and ego. They are still attached to their family or other places, you know, and big ego and anger. Some people harbor ill feeling for others. They are very, very dangerous. The holy man's anger should be marked on the water. It must disappear very quickly. Well, in this world, everybody wants liberation, happiness. Nobody wants misery and suffering. We are born to get that bliss. That bliss only is in the Brahman. But most people, some people learn through seeing, some people learn through hearing, and some people learn through suffering. So through suffering and suffering, they get push, then their minds turn toward God. Then he talked about quite a bit of other Vedanta literature. Then he told me, "Tumi Shondi dekhte jano?" Do you know what Shondi means? Junction. Do you know how to see the junction? Here is a pearl necklace. Here is a pearl, here is a pearl, here is a pearl. But all these pearls are connected, are tied with a thread or a chain. But we do not see it. We are seeing only the pearls. He was telling that, but if you minutely observe, very minutely, if you see between these two pearls, between the junction of the two pearls, you will see a little bit his position, thread, 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 thread. You can see it. That thread is consciousness, that is Atman. And all these pearls is a thought waves. Thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. No thoughts can rise without that consciousness. So, when you see these things lying, that the thread, always remember, that is the Atman. So, when you are talking about Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, every vritti, if it rises like this, you will be illuminated. That Kautikena Upanishad says, Pratibodho viditam matam amritattam vindate. Pratibodh. In every thought experience comes I am Brahman. I am Brahman. Not I am Chetanananda, I am Swami, I am this, I am that. No. Only I am Brahman. No other thought. That is the way one can get illumination. Then he explained in Vedanta scripture there are two words are used. Asat, Mithya. Asat means the thing which does not exist and we do not see. Example, horn of a man. Have you seen any horn of a man? No, but you can see in Hollywood, you know. Hollywood movie, you will see that buffalo horn. Hollywood can do everything, you know. Horn of a hare, horn of a man. But we say horn we understand, man we understand. But when we connect horn of a man, we do not see anything. That is called asat. Mithya means thing which does not exist, but we can see. Thing does not exist, but we can see. Example, mirage. Sun reflects in the sun, we think there is water, but actually there is no water. You go there is no water. Or you can see the seashell. So when the sun glitters, you can see perhaps a sterling silver. Actually there is no silver. It is just a shell. That is the example. We see it, but it does not exist. Well, do you know the problem in our life? Ego. If ego exists, world exists. Ego is not there, world is not there. How to eradicate this ego from human life? Then he talked about his days in the Uttarkashi with Devi Giriji. He was a very, very famous monk, Nora Brahman. He practiced austerity with Swami Dhyanayoganandaji. He said, we used to go with him in the evening near the fireplace, we used to sit and talk only about Vedanta. And sometimes we want to, there is no electricity, no oil lamp, nothing of the sort, only fireplace. But when we wanted to refer any scripture, so we used to throw some dry leaves into the fire and then we used to check our books. That is the way we used to get our knowledge. You know, when I used to, I can visualize those things to me. They're so beautiful, beautiful. That Himalayan rain in the cottage. Here is a Nwara Brahman and his students are studying Vedanta with the help of the light of the fireplace, throwing some dry leaves so that they can see the scriptures. I saw in Springfield, Illinois, Lincoln, how Lincoln used to study, fireplace. In this way he used to read the books. No electricity, no lantern, nothing of the sort. In the prairies in the Midwest, early settlers, how they settled on the bank of the Mississippi, Missouri River. Then he talked about renunciation. There was a sadhu named Mathura Das. He used to go beg food. So he gave food. Monks go and beg alms from door to door. He took food. The father, shall I give you water? No. Water is available in the Ganges. I only want food. What renunciation he had. Barefooted, walking over the snow. Father, don't you feel cold? Nahi, andar garam hai. I am not cold. My inside is warm. I am the Atman, I am not the body. You know, he says that these are the real monks. Then he said, you know, he wrote to me that, if I die, they will throw away all my collections. You better take them to America and work for them. So, anyhow, this Swami has a great influence on me. I am very indebted to him, and when I see these things, I get so happy that here is a genuine monk, highly learned, highly deeply spiritual. Means he experimented Scripture in his life, and that he shared with others. Anyhow, thank you tonight. Next 2 Saturdays, there will be, I shall not give any class. I shall be in Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, and Calgary. Then I shall be back again last Saturday of August, and 2 first Saturdays in September. Then I shall be back to St. Louis. Thank you. How many people watched?
What do we got?